The oxygen breathers. It was always an event when the humans visited. They'd arrive in their sleek, smooth, thick ships completely at odds with the other ships of the coalition. Human ships always looked like they were grown rather than built. People would whisper how the humans made their ships as tough as they were, how human ships could go atmospheric and land on the ground. It was nonsense, of course. No ship, human or otherwise, could do that. Craig figured that the humans spread the rumor themselves. After they'd arrived, they would come out of the docking umbilical in their small, polished suits. They were a rare class of sapient indeed. The oxygen breathers. Most civilized people in the coalition came from worlds with manganese-sulfur atmospheres. The humans with their oxidizer for a breathing gas are seen as brash, reckless folks who make decisions without proper consideration. Given the reactive nature of their atmosphere, it's practically a given that they too are more reactive in their choices. Craig stands at attention at the end of the umbilical, ready to welcome the humans for their, hopefully, short visit. They come from a high-gravity world with a single massive moon, fully a quarter of the size of their own planet itself, so their environmental defaults are somewhat extreme compared to the rest of the coalition. The humans keep to themselves. As they approached, they stopped 1/2 unit away from Craig and stopped. He looked down at them. They were about half his height, and he made the universal gesture of welcome. The humans reciprocate, and Craig begins. Welcome to Coalition Orbital 43559, known to the Lemalar as Habiliman. I am Administrator Craig, and I welcome you as equals for you visit. The human at the head of the group is wearing a slightly different suit. Still polished and reflective, but where the rest of the humans are wearing suits of pitch black, darker than interstellar space, this one's is a deep vermilion red. Craig is drawn to the color. It's so rich. It almost looks wet. When she begins to speak, an icon of a human face is projected onto the smooth, polished surface of the helmet. It seems that the humans have taken some care to make themselves look less anonymous and frightening in their environmental suits. Thank you for the greeting, Administrator Craig. I am Captain Margaret Kellerman, and this is my crew. She gestures behind her. We plan on staying only for 3 cycles demi in order to take on a load of ribanium and trade with any interested parties. I have a manifest of what we have available to trade. She gestures on her arm, and the file appears on Craig's pad. Craig is taken aback at her voice. It's so clear. She seems to be speaking through a translator, but it is getting the nuance and overtones of the Lemalar trade language perfectly. She could have a career as an entertainer or storyteller easily if she was a different species. Thank you, Captain. I have received your file and will distribute it. Please make use of our facilities during your stay. Captain Kellerman's helmet flashed an icon of a face, smiling, without their teeth, broadly. Thank you, Administrator Craig. We shall. For 2 cycles, Craig held out hope that the humans' visit would be without incident. They came in quietly, did some minor trading, loaded their ribanium, and spent a reasonable amount of money on entertainment and refreshments, suitable for their systems, while on board. Craig felt they were trying very hard to be model visitors. Apparently, they knew humans had a reputation in the coalition for being rowdy. On the last demi-cycle before the humans were scheduled to depart, a group of fellowmen came over angry. They had spent the entire 2 cycles previous loudly complaining that the humans shouldn't be here and that they had captured fellowmen colonies long ago and had begun the process of poisoning them to be more suitable to them. The human authorities maintain, and have the receipts to prove, that they purchased the planets legally from the fellowmen and never attempted to hide their goals of colonization. Regardless, a long bloody war had followed and the humans had pushed the fellowmen to capitulate and were currently engaged in a cold war with each other. Craig was alerted as soon as the shout started. The fellowmen seemed to come to the humans wanting to cause trouble. For their part, the humans tried their best to talk the fellowmen down. Their helmet icons were looking sad and quiet, and they gestured in ways to try and reduce tension. The fellowmen were having none of it, though. As Krek undulated over to try and calm them, one of the fellowmen in the back had wheeled out a battle rifle. Krek had no idea how they had snuck it in, but it was completely banned on the orbital and was cause for immediate expulsion. Before he could sound the alarm and get the orbital authorities to come, they fired at the group of humans. It proved to be a fatal error in judgment, faster than Krek could follow, and only confirmed by viewing the security footage after the fact. 3 of the humans brought massive slug throwers to bear. The coalition sapient races find chemical-powered metal slug throwers to be too heavy to be hand weapons. When they are used, they're tripod or vehicle mounted. The humans can pick them up and swing them around like they weigh nothing. The noise of the slug throwers in the hall was deafening. Krek wondered how the humans could take the noise without being injured, but he assumed they must have some kind of noise canceling built into their environmental suits. They fired for only 1 millicycle, but it was more than enough. All of the fellowmen were dead, with the ones in the front unrecognizable. The silence in the hall after they finished firing was deafening. It felt like an eternity after they had stopped before the station alarms sounded. Krek walked over to the humans. They were checking either other suits and cleaning up the small gold-colored pieces of metal that come flying out of their throwers when they fire. Brass is what they call it. Krek gestured an apology. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to leave now. Captain Kellerman's icon showed pure fury. Her gauntlet-covered hand pointed at him accusingly. You're going to take their side, Administrator? You were here, you saw them, they shot first. Krek slid back 1/2 unit unconsciously. Be that as it may, you responded with disproportional force to their attack. It was uncalled for. Captain Kellerman sputtered, her melodic voice taking on frightening undertones as the translator worked overtime to relay her fury to Krek. Uncalled for? Administrator Krek, with all due respect, you are out of line. You know about the war, I assume, but do you know what they did to our colonies? They dropped nanobombs on our legally purchased colonies. They weren't trying to take back land, they were trying to obliterate us. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. Krek was taken aback. This was not part of the standard narrative about the war. I did not know that. No, the fellowmen tell their own version of the war in order to garner support and sympathy against the aggressor human, I'm sure. Captain Kellerman sounded bitter in the translated voice. Krek, your people border the fellowmen opposite us, do you not? Yes, our territory borders theirs, but... And have you by any chance heard of some border worlds coming under some kind of unknown trouble? Maybe a strange illness or unusually strong weather on the worlds? Krek's frill rippled worriedly, and he said nothing. He had heard about things like that. Captain Kellerman cleared her helmet. Suddenly, Krek saw her clearly. Small, with bilateral symmetry, close-set binocular eyes, and a small mouth, this was the first time Krek saw a human as they are, not as their icons show them. They are predators. They are hunters. They are terrifying. Krek unconsciously made a gesture of fear and slid back another half unit. Captain Kellerman's face contorted into a snarl. Know this, Krek. It's only a matter of time before they do to you what they attempted, and failed, to do to us. Think hard about who your friends are and who in the coalition you can come to for help when they start dropping nanobombs on your worlds. Just as suddenly as it had cleared, her helmet darkened again, and the cartoon icon of her face returned. It felt like a mockery to Krek now. The humans picked up the rest of their debris and freed their weapons. Faster than Krek could ripple, they were all carrying slug throwers. We're leaving, Administrator Krek. If any fellowmen even come within 5 units of us... The people behind her cycled around into their rifles for emphasis. We will take it as a provocation and will respond with disproportionate force. Yes, Captain. I will relay this information. Oh, and Administrator Krek, your station will be added to the list of orbitals where humans will not go. We will do no trading, sell no wares, and offer no defense. You and yours will do well to consider your stand vis-a-vis the fellowmen. Without another word, the group of humans turned and marched towards their ship. Shaking, Craik signaled that they were not to be interrupted and made sure their warning about Felaman was relayed. After they left and the mess was cleaned up, Craik sat in his quarters and stared out the window at the planet below a long time. One of his creche mates was living on a newly founded colony bordering Felaman space. He began composing a message to beam to her, asking if she had any plans about moving back.